Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Obviously excited to be here as a college baseball coach. This is where you want to be at this time of year. Very proud of the team, especially coming through the losers bracket after a tough loss on Monday night to, again, one of the best teams that I've seen in recent time in Wake Forest, particularly on the pitching side of things. Really good week that we put together to get back to this point, and now it's about moving forward. One of the players to feel good about what they accomplished last night, and something we've talked about all year is mastering moving forward, moving on to the next step, whether that's through success or adversity. They've shown a lot of maturity in doing that throughout the year, and I expect us to do that moving into tomorrow night.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start. Up here, Koki.
Koki Riley with The Advertiser. How much has your experience of just being here at this level with the College World Series final and the national championship on the line, how much does that help you prepare this team?
Yeah, I think there's benefit to it. It's just like, with the players, something I tell them all the time, the best coach they're ever going to have in their life is playing time. And when you get here and get to experience, playing, 8 games in one World Series back in 2016, that definitely helps. You know what to expect. You know where the pitfalls are, things that I try to take a notebook with me everywhere when I'm doing everything. And being in Omaha, you certainly want to do that. And it's been helpful, and reflected a little bit on that last night. And then, more so of how do you transition from the bracket, to the championship series. And we had a good plan for that coming in, and excited to get into that phase of it now.
Okay, Leah.
Leah Van, The Advocate. Looking at the talent across this matchup alone and the matchup we saw last night, multiple first and second round draft picks, what do you think has enabled college baseball to feature this kind of talent over the years?
Yeah, I think the development platforms, that places like LSU have that can feed the player's dream of becoming a major league player. When you look at, nutrition, strength and conditioning, mental coaches, some of the best coaches in baseball, not college baseball, in baseball, are a part of these programs that have been playing in the College World Series. So it's a real opportunity, for the players to accelerate, achieving their dream of becoming a major league player someday, and get to play in an environment like this, which is second to none. You won't experience anything like this unless you're one of the very few that get to play in a Major League World Series.
Glenn? Oh, Jacques.
TV. Coach, can you speak to what a great player and star Trey Morgan is, the electricity he brings offensively, defensively? All the kids are screaming his name for autographs wherever he walks here. What's it like to just observe all that?
Yeah, if I gave you a full answer, we might be here all day. I think, as I've said before throughout the year, and rightfully so, he is one of the best competitors that I've ever coached. And just his will to win, his will to succeed, come through for our team when we need him the most is really next level. And I think it starts there. Great parents, was raised incredibly well. I think the maturation process, if you will, that I've seen is he's become a leader on our team. And, getting to spend, these 2 years with him, it's been really fun to see that evolution and hear him speak here in Omaha about his teammates and what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it. And in terms of the play, nobody embodies that better than Trey. And on top of that, he's a phenomenal baseball player. Very rarely do you put that competitive character with the hand-eye coordination, the two-strike hitting ability, the defensive versatility, all of those things. And, shortly after we're done, a professional team is going to be very happy to have Trey Morgan.
Glenn.
Glenn Wesco, 247. Coach O'Sullivan was just talking about how different it is to set up a team for an SEC schedule, and then when you get out here, it's a little bit different in terms of how you manufacture runs and stuff. Can you just talk about that element in terms of how you guys have maybe had to shift the way you play offense in this tournament?
Yeah, I think I have a good perspective about that. Coming from the West and the Pac-12, I mean, it's bigger fields. That's a different style of play. Most of the parks in the SEC are launching pads, for lack of a better word. This is not here. And, when we talk about building offense early on, very early on in the fall, we want to be able to win any type of game. Pitchers duel like last night, one-run game, slugfest, winds blowing out. Small park, big field, doesn't matter. And to have a skill set to be able to do that, and there's some hallmarks in that skill set that travel, if you will, without sounding too football coachish, that things that we've done well all year long have helped us score some runs here, but there's a different nature to it, especially in the games that we've played with the wind blowing straight in, the size of the field, the quality of the pitching. And again, I think it's unique and probably appropriate that, our last three opponents, in my opinion, on this year's schedule will be three of the best pitching staffs in college baseball.
Ooh. We'll go here with Jason there. Yeah.
Jason Patterson, Island CWS. Coach, without tipping your hand too much or giving away state secrets, what's in the notebook? What have you discovered from 16? What'd you learn from your side of the bracket this time that you feel like puts you in a position to be successful?
Yeah, I think, having a plan for everything just coming into the tournament. And, whether you win game one, lose game one, win the first two, lose one of the first two, and you can't get too far down the road. And that's probably the thing that helped us the most, I would say, over the last few days. I think if you lose your plan, this is over quickly.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Value Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
And I think that's probably the thing I'm the most proud of the last couple of days. I thought we were not on it in the first inning of Wednesday's game. And, we brought it up to the team. We had this conversation a month ago, we have to stay right here, right now, and in character. And, when you have old players that have had success, that have a good blueprint in their eyes of how to be successful and have had success with it, you can kind of get them back on track. And then they're good enough to go execute it. That's the most important part of it. And then staying right there right now. And, last night was special. That was a special game for all of the country to watch. And it was a big win for our program. And I wanted our players to feel that, because if you don't, you lose sight of why you're doing this. And then there becomes an expiration date on that, and then master the art of moving forward. And when you're going to play 7 or 8 games here like we are, you have to be able to do that.
Okay, we'll go with Mike here.
Coach Mike Patterson, Omaha World Herald. Just talk about the two different dynamics. LSU, perhaps the team with the momentum heading into the final, compared to Florida, the team that's probably a little more well-rested.
Yeah, I say this all the time. In baseball is very unique. I think it's different than basketball and football. I think talent wins out in basketball and football more often. In baseball, it's not always the team with the best players. It's the team that plays the best that day. And as hard as it may seem to get anybody's head around, it's about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the only thing that matters tomorrow. And there's advantages to both. Maybe you talk about rhythm, you talk about routine, you talk about confidence. Well, both teams are going to play with a ton of confidence, as they should, with the rosters. And I think it's awesome, when you look at Selection Day, and, I'm a very stay-in-the-moment type guy, which my Baton Rouge media friends will tell you. But you look at the bracket and you look who's on the other side, and it's this is not a surprise to me that who we're playing.
We'll go with Ryan here. We're going to run out of time, guys.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. Jay, back in February, you and I talked about the challenge of transitioning this new age of transfers coming in. Doesn't seem to have been a problem. Certainly wasn't last night. What's the secret sauce for taking guys from other programs and plugging them in with guys that have been here, since they got out of high school?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's fit. Yeah, we're not for everybody. You know what I mean? Florida's probably not for everybody either. I think building team, you have to be really intentional about building team. And we have a great freshman class as well. There's guys that haven't seen a lot of time here that are the future stars of our program. When I think about Brady Neal, who's been hurt, Paxton Kling, Jared Jones, I mean, they've all contributed to this team's success and will be the headliners of next year's group. We got here in large part because of Gavin Guidry and Griffin Herring. I mean, I had a meeting with those guys in January and February, like, you're going to have to spearhead this thing going forward. The reality of it, when you look at the SEC West and the SEC East, you cannot win without age, experience, and all those types of things. I mean, I think I know who the three players were up here for Florida. Those are grown men. I mean, this is not a little boys league, and you have to have some age and experience underneath you.
Okay, let's go Kevin here.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Coach, having to play the 4 games in 4 days, obviously the pitching was really, worked pretty hard. I'm curious about how you feel, how welcome is a day off, first of all, and then how you feel about your pitching setting up, given the number of arms you had to use to get through this.
Yeah, I'm way okay with having a day off today. Yeah, that's going to work out well for us. I have faith in a lot of guys, and we have 12 on the roster, on the active roster for this thing, and they've all pitched in games that we've won this year and games that we've had success. And I think there's a pathway for them, if they execute, to be successful. And it really doesn't matter what I think or feel about it. We are where we are. We earned our way here the way that we did, and so now we have to go with how we're set up.
Okay, we'll go with Ian. This is going to be our last question for Jay.
Can I have 2 questions?
Well, you got the mic.
Jay, first question is Hayden Travinsky available to play for the rest of this series? And the second question is just a scouting report on Wyatt Langford.
Yeah, in terms of Hayden, he was nursing a small injury, and it became a little bit bigger injury, earlier in the tournament. Massive gratitude for him giving it a go on Monday. He did the best he could with where he was at, and this time of year, that's the way it has to be. He was not available to play on Tuesday. Might have been available to pinch hit on Wednesday. We had some progress yesterday, but we got a little ways to go to know where we're going to stand with what he will be or won't be available for going into the weekend. Wyatt Langford, great player. I mean, I don't know how much else to say it. I mean, somebody's going to pay him a lot of money, as they should. And I think, like Dylan, like Paul, and a couple other guys on their roster, it'll be a short arc in terms of minor league baseball to the big leagues. He's a very well-built player.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's necessary. I don't think you'll find another team in the country that has more fun playing with each other than we do. It's our favorite thing to do is just play baseball and, joke around, have fun with each other. But, yeah, like you said, is different, components of leadership on this team, whether it be, like a glue guy, talent, et cetera, lead by example. And I think that's what makes us so special. It's not like it's one person leading the way. It's like a group, like a collective of us.
Dylan?
Yeah, I think it's very important for to have a good team. Really, just have the glue guys like this guy right here, and a leader like him who has one of the best mental approaches I've ever seen. So.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Value Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
So, I think it's very important. It just like gets the younger guys on board too, and just carries the tradition and the approach on every single year. So I think it's good.
Trey? I think the most important trait we have as a team is the confidence that we have in each other. We believe that every guy in that dugout, every guy on the field is going to get the job done whenever their name's called upon. And it's just a great feeling when you're in the game and you know that you have all those dudes in the dugout behind your back,
Okay, next question. Okay. Oh, who got in the back here? Howard, okay.
Warden, KOBM Omaha, congratulations to LSU. I asked this question to the student athletes from Florida, so I'll ask it for Trey, Dylan, and Cade. As a fan of baseball, what do you admire and like about Florida?
Trey, you start.
Dylan, I don't really have.
I have a lot of respect for them. I'm from Florida, so it's like I know. a bunch of those guys on the team and play with them, and I have a lot of respect for them. They got great starting pitchers, a great bullpen, great lineup, no holes in their lineup. So we got to be ready. We got to be ready to go. It's not going to be a cakewalk. We got to be mentally prepared and ready to go.
Cade?
Yeah, I would say one thing I admire about them is the confidence they play with. It's kind of similar to us, and they're a gritty bunch, and they all play with a chip on their shoulder. So that's one thing that I really respect from their team.
Okay, right here.
Michael Farrer with Berg Sports Network. Trey, kind of a two-part question for you. Could you talk about the fan base behind you guys from last night, and what's it like to have another SEC team face you in the championship?
Yeah, we have the best fans in the country, and that showed last night. It was awesome celebrating with our guys on the field, and then we turn and we look at the fans, and they're all on the rail, standing up, cheering, chanting LSU. If that didn't give you goosebumps, then I don't know what else would. But, that feeling was amazing. And what was the second question? I'm sorry.
What's it like to see another SEC opponent in the championship?
Oh, yeah. that just shows that's why we're here. That's why we came to play for the SEC. We believe it's the best conference in baseball. And, the history shows what where that trophy's gone multiple times. So, yeah.
We'll go with Koki here.
Dylan, is it easier for you guys to prepare for a matchup like this when you're facing a team that's pretty similar to you guys, with the big names, big guys in the order, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's easier, honestly. We have the same approach every team. Everybody's nameless and faceless to us. We don't change based on the opponent. We just stick to our plans and our approaches, and if we do what we're supposed to do and trust in our preparation every single day, good things will happen.
Glenn?
Glenn West, Go 247. This will be for Dylan and Cade. Do you guys think that the last 3 nights, just being able to play in those high-intensity, high-emotional situations, you think that's an advantage for you guys going into this series in terms of just riding that momentum into these next couple days?
Yeah, I think we do well with games being played back to back to back. It keeps the momentum going for sure. It just keeps the gas on the pedal to the metal, the little saying. But we just keep going. Really, keep the momentum going. Keep it going for this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say when you play in these high intensity environments, you're battle tested, and throughout the course of a season, we've played in different types of games, whether it be 1-on games, 2, 3, etc., blowouts. So, we kind of know every situation, know how to react to every situation, and, nothing's going to catch us off guard. So I think that's one thing that's good for us. We just got to play our game.
Okay. Let's go with Clinton over here.
Clinton Yates, ESPN. Trey, how much, excuse me, there's the crowd in the stands, but how much did you hear from folks back home after last night in terms of the reaction you got from people you've known, your whole life after not just the play, but the quality of that win?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. As soon as I checked my phone, seeing all the text messages, all the mentions on Twitter, Instagram, and just people really that I haven't talked to in a while, just saying how proud they are of me and this team and the history that we have the chance to make. It was awesome.
Okay, go Wilson back here.
Wilson Hazard from the Advocate for Cade. How does being here for 5 years and all the things that you've gone through shape the way you've thought about like the week that you've been here and like trying to maybe pick up like the name card and all those sorts of things? How has that maybe shaped the way you've gone about being here?
I mean, it just goes to show you that no matter what's going on, just keep putting your head down, keep working, and good things will eventually come your way. Had some tough breaks through prior pro seasons, but wouldn't change anything for the world. I think, we were all in Knoxville, Tennessee, at that super regional and, Florida State, et cetera. But yeah, it made us tougher as a team. It made us better for it. It might have sucked in the moment, but it paid off. And, we're here and playing for a national championship. So, wouldn't change it any other way, do it 10 times over.
Okay, Lee, you had your hand up.
Dylan, I know you had some experience playing with Wyatt Langford last summer. Just wondering if you could speak to like his style of play and what it was like playing with him.
Yeah, he's a great kid, great player too. I have all the respect for him. Very special talent. I think he's gonna be a big leaguer for a very long time. Some of the best raw bat-to-ball skills and power I've ever seen. It can really track the ball down in the outfield. So, I really like his game and, gonna, hopefully, just play alongside of him one day. So it'll be good.